Hey everyone, Couch Investor here with another video for you today. In today's video we're going to go over my top 5 stocks to watch or buy in the month of June. There are a couple of stocks I already talked about, so I'm just going to go over their recent changes or so, if there are any news articles about them, and go over their chart as well, and then my own opinion at the end of the video, of course. If you have any, or if you have 5 stocks to watch or to buy in the month of June, let me know down in the comments below. And before I get into this video, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I know about 80% of you haven't subscribed. If you could hit that subscribe button, that would really help me out grow the channel. And if you like the video, maybe hit that thumbs up. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so first up, I will start with number 5 and work our way up to number 1. So first up is MGM. I've made 2 videos already about the casino stocks, but for me, I still think it's a reasonable good buy to buy in the month of June, especially if and when they will try and reopen their casinos. They're expected to reopen their casinos on June 4th. So I think it's around about the day the video goes live. There will be reopening some hotels with 30% occupancy for the hotel, but 50% occupancy on the casino floor. So maybe that will start and drive some revenue through MGM's companies and hotel and casinos. So that's why I still think the stock might be a bit expensive because, well, they haven't been operating for a couple of months. But if you're looking at it in a big picture, in the long term, I think the stock is quite a good buy for the month of June, especially with the reopening of most of their hotels and casinos.
All right, so first let's look at MGM. This red line here was the one I drew in my last video. We were around, I think, May 15, 16 or so, maybe 18. I can't remember exactly, but I said basically if it wants to go back up, it will have to break that downtrend line. If not, we will go back down. And as you can see here, it broke the downtrend line, went all the way up and broke resistance at $17, but then touched the new downtrend line I drew, I think 2 days ago. Stopped there, but then went back down to the resistance, which hopefully will be support now at $17, and now is maybe making its way up to break the new downtrend line. This is the path I can see the stock going for a while, breaking the downtrend line, then forming a new base at around $18 or so. If not, the stock will probably go back down to $17, maybe a bit lower. You see this little gap right here at $16.30. We can see the stock lingering there for a while, because as you can see, you can form also a mini support right there. I don't really trust mini support lines, but in the short term we might see that happening. It breaks or it goes back down a little bit.
Alright, so number 4 is a stock that is very similar to one that I have talked about before. Before I talked about Okta, well, I think a month or so ago, I talked about Okta, and this one is called Ping Identity Holdings. Basically, they are competitors, I would say so. What do Ping and Okta have in common? Well, both of them free enterprises and help their employees work from wherever they want and access the right information and work-related documents from wherever they are, but in a secure manner. Now, with everybody working from home and more companies are accepting the fact that employees could be working from home and the company would work as usual, companies like Okta and Ping would and will become a huge player in the identity securities worldwide, in my opinion.
Alright, so next up is Ping. Again, if you want me to make maybe a video about Ping and Okta, compare both of them, let me know down in the comments below. But basically, Ping is a newish stock, IPO'd back in September 2019. It was at, I think, $20 or so, then went all the way down to 15, then rallied its way up to almost $30 before the market crashed. where it went all the way down to $12, and now it's back up basically at its all-time highs, even a bit higher. That's why I wrote here. It's basically new territory right now. This line here is supposed to be a small support line if it cannot break that $30 even more aggressively. We can see maybe a little pattern forming right here, maybe create a little base, so the support in the longer term will be bigger. If not, I can see the stock going back down to this support line right here at $23 or so, or just follow the uptrend line nicely. Again, Ping, like Okta, like Twilio, are stocks that probably will go even higher much faster than the other, thanks to the outbreak and everybody switching or maybe accelerating their, maybe, I don't know, turn into a tech environment, more people working from home, etc. So those are the type of companies that will probably go even higher in the near future, faster than others, that's for sure.
Stock number 3, I'll make this very short, it's Pinterest. I talked about this 2 days ago, so if you haven't watched that video, all videos are gonna pop up right here in the top right corner. Basically, my view on Pinterest is very simple. They are now the third largest social media platform. And for me, there is still huge growth ahead for them, especially in the ad revenue business. It's supposed to grow even more in the next couple of years. When people go on Pinterest, they are already in a mindset of going and spending their money. That's not the case right now with Instagram or Facebook. That's why I think Pinterest is a buy, especially at the prices it's at now. We're going to look at the graph very shortly, but again, if you want a more lengthy explanation on why Pinterest is a good buy, I would suggest to go watch that video.
Right, in this one, it's Pinterest. I'll go over it very fast because I've just made a video about it 2 days ago. Basically, what I expect the stock to do is to linger around the $21 for a while and then make its way back up. If that doesn't happen, it will probably go back down to around $18 in the short term and then make its way up like the uptrend line we can see right here. Like I said in my last video, if you haven't watched it, please go. It's gonna pop up right here. I see a bright future for Pinterest, especially in the longer term. And for me, the stock is extremely underappreciated right now. But as of now, the graph looks okay to me. If you want to wait to see what happens, I would say wait a couple of weeks or so and see if the stocks create a new line of support right here around $21. That would make a very good entry point and actually reassure you of where the stock and what the stock is going to do in the near future.
Now we're at stock number 2. Again, also one of my recent videos. It's about Spotify. If you haven't watched that, I don't know why, but the YouTube algorithm didn't really show that video that much. So I would really suggest you to go watch that video. It's a bit long, but I promise you it's very, very good and very informative, especially if you're looking to buy Spotify stock even after the Joe Rogan deal was announced. So for me, Spotify, again, will take on YouTube for the podcast world, and with them moving into maybe some video podcasting on the app, that could really take on YouTube and Apple podcasts in the longer term. Especially, same thing here, ad revenue with videos are much bigger than with just audio. And this is just one of the few things why I think Spotify is and remains a buy even after the Joe Rogan deal. Obviously, we're going to look at the graph, but again, if you want a more lengthy explanation on why I think Spotify is a buy, I would suggest to go watch the video right there.
All right, so for Spotify, same thing. I covered the whole stock in a lengthy video a couple of days ago. If you want to go watch that, it's going to be in the top corner right there. So basically the same thing. As of now, my graph holds pretty well, I would say, since I've made the video. Resistance for now is 185. Holds pretty well, as you can see. It touched, but then retracted. I would suggest the stock will be doing the same thing in the next couple of days. And if it goes up, then it should maybe test 195 in the coming days. If not, we could see a bull flag pattern forming, which could mean big uptrend in the near future. But as of now, I can see the stock zigzagging its way around here for at least a couple of weeks or so. If you want to take an entry point, maybe wait a little bit until the stock stabilizes and finds its price. If not, if you have cash on the side, if you can stomach volatility, you could start opening a position around this price right here. But bear in mind, the stock could go from the price today, it could go lower to around, well, here, 13.5% lower. So if you can stomach that, if you have cash in case the stock goes back down to $160, then maybe now is a good time to open a position in that stock. I hold it. If it goes back to 160, I wouldn't think twice to acquire more stock.
And lastly, my number one pick for the month of June is Starbucks stock. I've made a video about Starbucks also, I think a month and a half ago, in length, I would say, about how Starbucks is advancing and moving into the world of more healthy foods, etc. Partnerships with Beyond Meat, and so if you want to look at that, maybe go watch the video right there. And for now, Starbucks is, well, supposed to reopen over 90% of their stores. Obviously, there will be a lot of changes. Maybe some won't accept cash anymore, so it will be cashless payments, only pickups or drive-through until things will become safer. But maybe moving towards the future, that would become the new normal. It's a bit like Luckin Coffee. I've made a video about that as well. I called it the Chinese Starbucks. Obviously, we all know what happened with Luckin, the fraud scandal. I won't lie to you, I've lost 90% of my investment in that. I have no shame in saying that, because obviously I won't always say that every stock I pick is a winner. I'm obviously losing with some of my picks as well. Luckin is one of those. Luckily for me, it wasn't that big of a position, but still a loss is a loss. So going back to Starbucks, Starbucks will also gain much more market in China because of the Luckin scandal. Going back to the topic of cashless payments and pickups, I think now Starbucks will start accelerating that process. That's something Luckin has been doing for a while now, and I think that's one of the positive things, and that's why I bought also Luckin back then. But for me, Starbucks is my number one pick for the month of June. We're going to see how the price and the graphs are looking at the moment, but that will be it for my picks for the month of June.
I think Starbucks, with the whole situation right now where people have to stay at home, most Starbucks stores were closed. They will probably restart reopening their Starbucks, maybe only for pickup. Maybe some of them are already open, etc. Like I said. So the graph for me, I drew this, I think, when it touched this, so May 26th. As you can see, it has issues. It struggles to break that downtrend line, which pushes the stock even a bit lower. I've put a huge resistance line at $78 because exactly 1 year ago the stock struggled to break that as well right here. So it went back down to around $75 and then made its way up to around almost $100. I would expect it to do the same in the longer term. That's why I said here to around $90. It's a 15% increase from the current prices. But if it can make its way back up to the $100, that's a 27, almost 28% increase. But that will be probably in the longer term, where everything will go back to the new normal, I would say. But again, for me, Starbucks is a very good stock to own, especially with people will still go and buy their coffee. Starbucks, like I did in my last video a while ago, they're moving in a more healthy menus, etc. So I would say the stock is a good pickup and pays dividends as well. So for now, I would say if you want to wait, maybe wait for the stock to break out or to go back a bit down and see if you can get it a little bit cheaper, but if it breaks out, I would say there at around $80 would be a good entry point.
That will be all for this video. Hopefully you liked it. If you have other stocks you're currently watching or looking to buy, let me know down in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed, it will really help me a lot if you hit that subscribe button. And if you like the videos, maybe leave it a thumbs up as well. As always, take care, stay safe, and see you all in the next video. Bye bye.